One of my biggest dreams has been to get paid to be published. Getting paid to be published is kind of like the holy grail of writing, or like trying to intentionally get struck by lightning. The difference between paying to get yourself published versus getting paid to be published is night and day. It's a whole other level of accomplishment. But unless you're a celebrity or a politician or a widely recognized expert in your field, it's just highly unlikely that anyone is going to pay you ahead of the fact to be published. My writing career began about 25 years ago as part of a collaborative effort between all the local chiropractors. I used to contribute health-related articles once or twice a year to the Meadville Tribune's monthly Health Beat column. Then, after I submitted an article that I had titled Success, I was contacted directly by the Meadville Tribune's editor, Ed Mallard. He asked me if I would be interested in penning a column of my own in their forthcoming Active for Life quarterly supplement to the Meadville Tribune. I was given free rein to philosophize however I chose for the next several years. Those articles ran from 2009 till mid-2013, and they were well received in our community. They helped me to develop my writing skills and to develop confidence in my writing ability, but they were unpaid. Over the past 13 years, I have published 5 books, and in each and every instance, I paid to get myself published, as opposed to being paid to be published. There are other avenues to get paid to be published. Reader's Digest, for instance, regularly solicits short stories, anecdotes, and jokes from unknown and novice writers. In a hilarious episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, in the first season, episode 6, called Frank the Writer, Frank Barone submits a funny story to Reader's Digest and it gets published. He's over the moon at finally being a published writer. He announces to the family, "The mailman brought me fame and fortune today." Brought him a stack of Reader's Digest and a check for $300. His delusions of grandeur drive the hilarity of the remainder of the episode. Chicken Soup for the Soul is another avenue. Chicken Soup for the Soul publishes 10 new books each year. Each book consists of 101 stories, with thousands, literally tens of thousands of submissions for each and every book, and only 101 stories making the final cut. The odds of getting published in this manner are 1% or less. Probably do have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. The journey to following your dreams is often a very long one. It's commonly stated that the real value in following your dreams comes about as a result of who they nudge you to become, who you blossom into while in their pursuit. And while that makes sense on an intellectual level, it kind of feels like a cop-out, right? Like an excuse for why it's okay for never actually achieving your dreams. Never giving up on your dreams, never giving up on yourself, requires a tremendous amount of patience, discipline, self-belief, and self-compassion, particularly when those around you are constantly reminding you of all of your shortcomings. The closest I ever came to being paid to be published was way back in 2002. I had submitted an article to Chicken Soup for the Chiropractic Soul, and that article, that story, actually made it to the second to last round before ultimately being rejected in the final cut. Over the next 23 years, I submitted literally dozens of stories to Chicken Soup for the Soul and never had any of them get selected for inclusion in any of their books. I suspect that most, if not all, the submissions they receive are probably fairly well written. So there's a tremendous element of luck involved in getting selected for inclusion in any of their books as well. When I was a teenager, my mom, about a year before she died, my mom entered a raffle at a store at the Mill Creek Mall, a store that sold organs and pianos. And they were raffling off a Lowry organ valued at about $1,200 back in 1980. Lo and behold, my mom's number got chosen. I can still hear her voice saying, "I've never won anything in my entire life." She was so delighted. On May 20th, 2025, Chicken Soup for the Soul, What I Learned from My Cat, is being published. And featured in there is a story that I submitted. A story about fortitude and resilience. Having a story that I've written get selected for inclusion in the Chicken Soup for the Soul book series is a huge honor. In the big scheme of things, it's a relatively small accomplishment. One story, about 550 words, that I got paid for publishing. But it's a monumental accomplishment for me, just the same. Just like my mom when she won that organ, I am so delighted. Be sure to check it out. We'll see you next time.